Is Greg helping them?
We don't.
Okay, I went to go ask. I was like, oh.
No, we're waiting. I'm trying to sort through them.
Last time we did this. So if they're waiting to connect the audio,
Oh.
there were issues with audio until the meeting was finished.
She's not even like visible right now, right?
Yeah,
We just have Teams up.
Councilmember Yang, are you able to see and hear the video?
Never drink soda. I mean, I only do 0 sugar, but even that I don't.
Okay.
But it sounds like the caffeine that you
Yes.
Just a reminder. to
Councilmember Yang, are you
council
hearing
members,
and seeing
because
everything?
we have a remote member, every vote is going to be
Sorry,
a roll
what?
call.
Okay.
And I'll go fast if you answer fast.
Be ready for your eye, because it can take quite a while if we don't do it.
And
right
she'll
away.
have a little delay, I think.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to be able to hear.
That'd be hard.
Oh, sometimes I lose it when I'm on Teams, or like lose. Yeah.
Councilmember Yang, can you hear? If you could like,
Hi everyone, I can hear you.
can you hear? Good.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
We need to be able to see her also.
I'm on camera. Do you see me?
Not right now.
No, they should be able to project her on the screen. Yeah, right?
It is right
It
now.
can be.
There's,
Yeah.
because everyone
Yeah.
has to be able to see her.
Great.
She
We can
has to be able
see
to it.
Councilmember Yang now. And Councilmember Yang, you can hear us?
Yes, I can see and hear you.
Awesome. All right. We can get started without Greg, right? Pardon? We can get started without Greg. Yeah. Okay, great. Everyone ready? Call the meeting of the St. Paul City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Bowie,
Here.
Johnson. Here. Jost. Here. Kim.
Here.
Probatsky.
Here.
Yang.
Here.
Council President Naker.
Here.
7 present, no one absent.
Thanks so much to everyone for joining us for our City Council meeting. We invite all who are able and interested to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consent agenda items 2 through 19 are before you for your consideration.
And I know that item 16 is going to be withdrawn and item 19 is going to be pulled from consent. Is there anything else to be pulled for separate consideration? Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Ms. Bowie to move the balance of the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Bowie,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Jost, Kim,
Yes.
Probatsky,
Yes.
Yang,
Hi.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The consent agenda is adopted as amended. Item 19 is Resolution 25-1115, recognizing Disability Pride Month and honoring disability advocacy in St. Paul.
Well, it is my distinct honor to be presenting this resolution along with so many of my colleagues to recognize Disability Pride Month, honor disability advocacy in the city of St. Paul, and in particular, thank and honor the members of the Mayor's Advisory Committee for People with Disabilities. I know that some of you are here today. I would really welcome you to come up and stand with me as I read the resolution. So come on up. Make sure you come up and join me as I read the resolution. 100%. Thank you. Come up and join me. And I think one of the things that I'm excited about with this is that we often don't have enough opportunity to say thank you to those of you who do this work. It is thankless, it is tiring, and you do it, and we really, really appreciate it, and we don't say thank you often enough. So thank you. I'm going to read the resolution, and then I would invite you to say your name, say the neighborhood you live in, and say how long you've been serving on the committee, and then we'll take a photo, and then we'll vote on it. And I feel pretty good about passage, so I think we can do all this before we take a formal vote. So these are actually all certificates that will be awarded to the members of the committee. So, and I want to say a huge thank you to Jenna Sajadi in my office for creating these certificates. They're absolutely beautiful, and I think do credit to what we're trying to communicate with these. So On Wednesday, the 16th of July, 2025, this certificate is awarded to the members of the Mayor's Advisory Committee for People with Disabilities, recognizing Disability Pride Month and honoring disability advocacy in St. Paul. Whereas Disability Pride Month is celebrated in July to commemorate the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 on July 26, 1990, and whereas nearly 1 in 4 Americans currently live with a disability, and whereas people with disabilities are valued and vibrant members of St. Paul's communities and make tremendous contributions to St. Paul's community, economy, art, and culture. And whereas people with disabilities are diverse and have intersectional identities and share a community and culture that is built around their lived experiences. And whereas St. Paul acknowledges the long history of isolation and discrimination against people with disabilities and recognizes the decades of activism and advocacy by the disability community. And whereas the City of St. Paul acknowledges that the ADA is only a starting point, and there remains significant room for progress toward full and equitable access and inclusion for all community members with disabilities. And whereas the City of St. Paul extends its gratitude to the members of the Mayor's Advisory Committee for People with Disabilities for their dedication, advocacy, and ongoing commitment to making our city more accessible, inclusive, and welcoming for all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the St. Paul City Council hereby recognizes July 2025 as Disability Pride Month in the City of St. Paul, honors the contributions, leadership, and advocacy of people with disabilities, expresses its deep appreciation to the members of the Mayor's Advisory Committee for People with Disabilities, and reaffirms its commitment, this is the important part, to advancing equity, accessibility, and full inclusion for all residents with disabilities. Thank you so much for your service. I'll give these out, and then if you want to say, just say your name, how long you've been serving.
Hi, I'm Carrie Sheldon. Thank you so much for having us having this proclamation being read today. It's really a good thing that we're continuing to advance accessibility in the city.
My name is Jillian Nelson. I'm in the Hamlin neighborhood. I'm an autistic and multiply disabled adult. I've been serving for about 18 months. I really want to thank the council for the commitment to accessibility, as we as MACPD are determined to move forward and make sure that St. Paul is the most accessible and most inclusive city in our state and then in our country.
My name is Anna Hover. I have been serving since last fall. I used to represent Summit Hill, but now I represent Highland. And inclusion matters. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Let's take a quick picture, and then we'll open it up to comments from colleagues. Oh, yeah, me to come.
Mark, do you want to join us as our fearless admin? You have to herd this circus of cats.
I want someone to promise to send me a picture.
We promise.
Taking that to heart.
And also, too, right in action as a piece of language.
I'm actually the council justice for the Autism Society, and I joined MACPD as a way to get back to my direct community.
You can fit.
And not
This is about inclusion.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
Okay, I do have it right side up.
Oh, well, I don't. Good job, team. Thank y'all for raising it.
I just hope.
Thanks again. So I would move approval of the resolution, and I would open it up to comments from my colleagues. Any discussion? Ms. Bowie.
Thank you, Council President. Also, thank you to all of the members who's serving on the council. I also just want to appreciate that seeing the Director of Commerce here from Hero. A lot of questions that comes to my office, or even concerns when it comes to people with all abilities, especially in their housing, making sure that they have accessibility to their mail, that their doorknobs are placed in a certain way that they have access to it. I see my constituent, the great Carrie Sheldon here, who ensures that our city is advancing accessibility. So I just want to say thank you for your leadership. Also, thank you for bringing this resolution. You know, I love resolutions. I love recognitions. I love when we're able to really highlight a diversity of communities. And I just want to appreciate that we didn't lose sight of not only Pride Month, but also the people who was making sure that everyone's included when it comes to who we're serving in St. Paul.
Thanks, Ms. Bowie. Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, we will take a roll call vote.
Bowie,
Yes.
Johnson,
Here, yes, sorry, excuse me, roll call.
Jost, Kim,
Hi.
Pravatsky,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 present, no, 7 in favor, no one opposed. The resolution is adopted.
Congratulations and thank you again. And I was remiss by not mentioning our fearless director, Beth Commerce, and our staff. Thank you all so much for your leadership as well. And just so everyone knows, we don't typically do roll call votes, but because we have a Councilmember Yang, who's attending meetings during her maternity leave, I would like to point out, we do have to do a roll call. So in case you notice a little bit of funkiness on our part, we're out of practice.
We would like to, as a council, to also welcome and invite you to join us for any of our meetings at any time as we work towards making the city more accessible.
Thank you. I will personally plan to attend for sure. And I'm sure others will too. Thank you again.
Item 20 is final adoption of ordinance 25-34, amending chapters 33, 60, 61, 62, 63, 65, and 66 of the legislative code to correct errors and to update and clarify language.
So this is before us for final adoption. We've had a public hearing. We had a first reading. I know we received some questions about one part of these mostly technical changes which related to the height of buildings on college campuses. And so I just wanted to confirm, and I see Mr. Pravatsky as well. Do you want to speak to that item?
Yeah, thanks, Council President Naker. I know our office in particular, having multiple higher ed institutions and campuses over 5 acres, got a number of comments here, and there were folks here last week that I spoke to after the hearing. I think there was some concern just because the underlying zoning language mentions 90 feet as an upper height limit. This amendment actually isn't altering or creating that 90 feet verbiage that's already been in the underlying zoning code. The zoning code changes are just meant to reflect what staff have already been interpreted as sort of the spirit of the law or how the law has been implemented. So just as a clarification, 90 feet is not new. It's not being introduced by this language. And then further, even if it were being introduced, any of the campuses that are being spoken about already have overlaying conditional use permits that also control the height of buildings on given parts of the campus. So the 90 feet is permissive. It allows you to go up to there, but the conditional use permit creates that cap that functions on day to day. So appreciate the staff laying that out for me and just making sure folks appreciate. So I don't think we should see any actual change in the real world based on this language tweak, just a cleanup of language.
Great. Thanks for clarifying that, Mr. Pravatsky. So just to be super, super clear, nothing is changing in terms of the heights that are allowed for buildings on college campuses with these changes. We're just trying to make the language more clear. And I appreciate your point about the conditional use permits that already apply on most campuses. So thank you. I think it's just really important that we be very transparent and responding to people who've written to us. And so I appreciate you doing that. With that, I will take a motion from Mr. Pravatsky for approval and final adoption. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Bowie,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Jost,
Yes.
Kim,
Aye.
Pravatsky,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The ordinance is adopted. Item 21 is first reading of ordinance 25-41, amending chapter 33.04 of the legislative code to require that 10% of the estimated plan review fee is to be paid before a review may begin.
And since this is a first reading, we have a staff report. Welcome up, Mr. Hoban.
Good afternoon, Council President, Council Vice President, Council members. I'm David Hoban, Deputy Director of the Department of Safety and Inspections. I'm here to talk through the process change that would require an ordinance change. and that is to add a 10% pre-application fee per plan review for reviews over $1,000. The reasoning behind the procedural change is an efficiency model. We have a lot of applications come in that are really incomplete and the drawings are unsatisfactory. There's a whole myriad of things that can and do get submitted. And what happens is that we end up reviewing them, and the perception is we have everything and it's DSI that is running behind while we have a lot of legwork time trying to get the full application. The other mitigating factor for this procedural change is we have a fair amount of applications, anywhere from 30 to 40, sometimes they're a little higher, that come in, they get the full review, and then they never come in and pay for their permit. In hopes that we could avoid some of those things and be more efficient and help our review timelines, a 10% pre-application fee is being proposed. That would be 10% of the plan review fee at most. It would be 10% of the fee, which is 65% of the estimated building permit fee. Plain language is, if you have $1,000 plus permit, minimum fee of $85. If you have a very large project, the cap for the fee would be $5,000. So that 10% would be capped at $5,000. The other items in this ordinance that we are striking are old things that aren't needed anymore. The general sheet metal permits are covered under building permits currently, so that section is not needed. The others are just editorial changes that improve the language. Should be highlighted, there's no fee increase with this. There's no added things that people will still owe what they owe. We're just asking that there's a little more acknowledgement that when they apply for a permit, that there's a level of paperwork that is reasonable to assume that we need. And for that, we're proposing this procedure change that requires the ordinance change. So I can answer any questions that you might have.
Great. I have a couple questions, and I look to my colleagues for more. One of them, first of all, I'm really grateful to the department. I think one of the things that DSI does extremely well is to be constantly looking to improve and wondering how to be more efficient, how to provide better service. So really appreciate the self-reflection and the coming to us with this proposal in that spirit. I guess I'm curious, one, if one of the issues is that you're getting incomplete plans and information is going back and forth to the applicant that they've submitted everything, but they actually haven't. How does charging 10% of the plan review fee at the beginning affect that? I understand that it's a problem. I'm not sure I understand how the fee affects that particular issue. And then my second question is, if it's also true, a second problem is that so many of these plan reviews are not ever completed and you're doing all of this work without ever having recouped the cost. Is 10% of the plan review fee at the front enough to ensure that if those end up not proceeding, you're covering your costs? Is that sort of an industry standard? Or to your point, if the fee isn't actually increasing in total, would it make sense to ask for more of it at the top?
Yeah, I think a lot of the things we do in the city put the customer first and know what the reaction would be. I mean, we're very cost sensitive. We don't want to have things cost more or be more added process or procedures that we don't need. So to answer the second part of the question first, a lot of municipalities require a full upfront plan review fee to do a plan review. We're only proposing 10%. Do I think it'll cure all the things that we are seeing? Probably not, but it's a step in the direction that we need to kind of gauge that. I think a fee is reasonable to impose for a pre-application, given what we're seeing for applications that are not complete. But is it enough? I hope so. I think that the idea is that if you have to put some money down, then there's a certain level of professional acumen that comes with that, knowing that you have to supply certain documents because you're spending money to get this review done. We do have a lot. We have 13,000 to 16,000 permits come in. So when I say a lot, I don't know, hundreds a year that will inevitably have to be worked quite a lot on the front end because they weren't quite ready for a full application. It is those areas that we're trying to impact. Penalizing people isn't something that we're interested in. This is really just we're here to do it professionally. Want to make sure that people coming in understand the expectation that the paperwork that needs to be accompanied by the application for the permit application is a legitimate professional thing that has requirements. Without the fee, sometimes that gets lost in translation, as we do receive a lot of applications every day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions? Mr. Pravratsky.
Yeah, thanks, Council President Naker, and thanks, Deputy Director Hoban. I certainly support the spirit of this, and I don't know that 10% is magically the correct number, but I appreciate the fact that, even if it's quote unquote only 50, reviews that go through and never get pulled as the permit, I think people might underestimate just the cascading effect of all of the site reviews, all the plan reviews, and how they impact each other. Anytime we deal with a small business or a homeowner or whatever who's trying to go through the review process, and I'm working with you to try and unclog the possible issue, it's almost always related to some other follow-up had to happen, or some other step had to be taken, or staff got pulled away. Yep. And so any additional plan that's completely erroneous and not based on something that comes to reality could impact a business, and then by the time you're a week out, that impacts a contractor, then it impacts the project, then it's pushed out, then it adds cost. So I think the cascading element, I appreciate the first act, and I actually probably would be comfortable with a higher number, but I know the sensitivity we have of, I've personally gone through the permit process for things on my home that I've done myself just to sort of learn what it felt like as a customer. And it was actually pretty smooth and easy, but it was still, no normal person would be able to grapple with it basically. So it was still a process. So I appreciate all the thinking going in here.
Thank you. Other comments or questions for Mr. Hoban? I'm not seeing any. Thank you so much. We will have a public hearing next week.
The ordinance is laid over to July 23rd for second reading public hearing. Item 22 is a public hearing of ordinance 25-38, amending Chapter 375 of the Legislative Code to allow pedicabs to pull a trailer and remove the hours restrictions and incorporate uniform license procedures as outlined in Legislative Code Chapter 310 and clarify ambiguous language.
So this is the public hearing section of our agenda, so all the next items are opportunities for public comment. If you're here to speak to any of these items, you'll wait until your item is read out, as the first one just was, and then when I call for the public hearing, if you're here to testify, you'll come up, stand just in between those two microphones. You'll have 2 minutes to testify, and we ask that you start with your name and where you're coming from, and then sign in at either of the sign-in sheets when you're done. So with that, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item, which is item 22? Please come on up. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fernando Scott, and I'm from Mac Groveland. I thank you for this opportunity to speak to all of you. Once again, my name is Fernando Scott. I'm one of the local owners and operators of a pedicab business here in the Twin Cities. As you consider updates to the pedicab ordinance today, I ask that you also include one important amendment to revise section 375.5, subsection B, number 5, which currently disqualifies anyone with a DUI in the last 3 years from getting a pedicab driver's license. While public safety matters, this rule goes too far, especially for first-time DUI offenders. Many complete treatment, fulfill all legal requirements, and regain their full driver's license way before this 3-year period is up. If the state of Minnesota trusts them to drive a car, it doesn't make sense to block them from operating a low-speed pedicab, because the foundation of a pedicab is it's a bicycle, not a vehicle. To be clear, there is no recorded history of DUI-related incidents involving pedicab drivers in St. Paul or in the state of Minnesota at all. There's simply no evidence that this restriction is solving a real problem. What the evidence does show is this: first-time DUI offenders in Minnesota have a relatively low reoffense rate, around 12 to 15%. Programs like Ignition Interlock reduces that percent even further. And we know stable employment reduces recidivism. So keeping someone out of work after they've already turned their life around actually increases risk, not reduces it. So that's why I'm asking the council to shorten the disqualification period or provide a waiver process for individuals who've shown they're ready to move forward. You've already are making thoughtful updates to the ordinances. This will be a meaningful evidence-based addition. Thank you for your time and your considerations.
Great. Thank you so much for your testimony. Make sure to sign in. It's possible that we'll follow up with you. Any other folks here to speak on this item? Sorry, sir. Can you remind us of your name?
Oh, Fernando Scott.
Thank you. Anyone else here to speak on this item? Seeing none, I will take a motion from Ms. Jost to close the public hearing and lay the matter over till August 6th for final adoption. Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Provatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the ordinance is laid over to July 23rd for final adoption. Item 23. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
that's
meant
great.
July 23rd. July 23rd is correct.
Yeah, July 23rd for final adoption. Item 23 is Resolution Public Hearing 25-146, authorizing the Department of Parks and Recreation to enter into a $96,000 agreement with Minnesota Department of Natural Resources to enhance and restore 23 acres of native woodland habitat at Sweet Hollow Park.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Ms. Johnson to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion of that motion? Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Provatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 24 is Resolution Public Hearing 25-148, amending the financing and spending plan of the Department of Parks and Recreation in the amount of $382,427 by increasing the 2025 budget using fund balance to reflect previously awarded funding from Parkland dedication funds.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Vice President Kim to close the public hearing and approve. Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Provatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 25 is Resolution Public Hearing 25-139, approving the application of Minnesota Children's Museum for a sound level variance in order to present amplified sound on August 16th at 10 West 7th Street, Minnesota Children's Museum.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Ms. Yang to close the public hearing and approve. Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Provatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 26 is Resolution Public Hearing 25-140, approving the application of Ka Vang for a sound level variance in order to present amplified sound on August 9th and 10th at 425 Rice Street parking lot.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Ms. Bowie to close the public hearing and approve. Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Provatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 27 is Resolution Public Hearing 25-141, approving the application of Chris Benz for a sound level variance in order to present live amplified sound on October 4th at 1199 Midway Parkway, Como Midway Picnic Pavilion.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Vice President Kim to close the public hearing and approve. Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Provatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 28 is Resolution Public Hearing 25-143, approving the application of St. George Greek Orthodox Church for the Greek Festival event sound level variance in order to present amplified sound on July 25th and 26th at 1111 Summit Avenue, St. George Greek Orthodox Church grounds.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Ms. Bowie to close the public hearing and approve. Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Pravatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 29 is Resolution Public Hearing 25-144, approving the application of Great River Passage Conservancy for the Music on the Mississippi event sound level variance in order to present amplified sound on June 21st at 226 Spring Street, Upper Landing Park. I'm wondering if that should be July.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Does it say it in the resolution, in the actual text?
Look real quick.
While we're looking to see whether this already happened or is going to happen, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? I didn't think so, but I thought I would try to buy us some time.
Getting close. Everything in the resolution says June.
Okay. Well, we will just go ahead and take a motion from Mr. Pravatsky to close the public hearing and approve. Roll call, please.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Pravatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Legislative hearing consent agenda items 30 through 57 are before you for your consideration.
Welcome, Ms. Mormont.
Thank you, Council President. One to be read into the record and just a simple ask. It's number 48.
Item 48 is RLH BBR 25-20, appeal of Andy Dawkins and Richard Bowen to a vacant building registration requirement at 767 University Avenue West.
Ms. Mormont.
I would like for this to be continued for 1 week, if you will. The plumbing permit has not yet been finalized, and that's what we're waiting on.
So the legislative hearing officer's recommendation is to hold this over for 1 week till July 23rd.
Thank you.
Ms. Bowie,
Yep. I accept that recommendation.
take that as a motion from Ms. Bowie. Any discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Pravatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is continued to July 23rd.
Is there anything else for separate consideration, Ms. Mormont?
I'm not aware of anyone here to testify on another item.
Okay, thank you. We'll then have a public hearing on all of the legislative hearing items. If you're here for item 30 through 57, this is your public hearing. Come on up if you're here for any of those items. Seeing none, I'll take a motion from Ms. Jost to close the public hearings and adopt the items as amended. Take a roll call.
Bowie?
Yes.
Johnson?
Aye.
Jost?
Yes.
Kim?
Aye.
Pravatsky?
Yes.
Yang?
Aye.
Council President Naker.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearings are closed and the consent agenda is adopted as amended.
Thanks, Ms. Mormont. And that brings us to good news from the wards. Any good news around the table? Ms. Bowie, and then Ms. Jost, and then Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
And then Ms. Yang.
Yes. So I'm super excited. It is officially Rondo Week, where we have Rondo Days, the festival on Saturday from 11 to 7 p.m. at the Martin Luther King Center. So all are welcomed. It's going to be an amazing lineup of local artists. The headliners are, if you're an 80s hip-hop fan, Brand Nubian and Mooney Love. So I'll be there with my hip-hop attire on. So we also have a booth, and not only are we going to be at the Rondo Days, but we'll be hosting our first reparations community listening session, where we'll have a video booth where people can record to the prompts, and we get a chance to just really capture that insight from community. So all is welcome. Also, that same exact day, earlier from like 10:30 to noon, I'll be at Dunning Rec, where we'll be doing the ribbon cutting and the announcement of the Dave Winfield statue. Dave Winfield is an All-American athlete, known for multiple sports he have championed in, and he's from Rondo, so it's an amazing opportunity to launch what could be what we're working on as like a Rondo athletic exhibit hall at the Dunning Rec. So you're also welcome to attend that. And if you are an ESPN fan, I don't know much about it, but there is a 30 for 30 documentary being filmed there. So if you want to get some, I guess, potential footage, I don't know much about ESPN at all, but I heard that is a really big deal. So they're also going to be recording. So, yeah.
So in case these millions of viewers aren't enough for you, head over to Dunning to get some real prime time. Thanks, Ms. Bowie. Ms. Jost.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be there as well. Big Dave Winfield fan, also a Central graduate, so just have to throw that out there.
Always.
Thanks, colleague.
The event that I want to share, which is one of my favorite events of the year, is the Highland Water Tower will be open this weekend on Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th from 9 to 5. I think it's like 150 steps to the top of the tower, so you can climb up there and see the views. And St. Paul Regional Water will be there with some information booths, and you can learn more about the services that they provide. The location is 782 Snelling Avenue, and so I'll be there, and I'd encourage everyone to check it out.
Okay. Thanks so much, Ms. Jost. Chair Johnson.
Thank you, Council President. I just have three quick events to plug for folks. The first is on Friday, July 25th. It's the East Side Jump Jam with Indigenous Roots, and it will be at Indigenous Roots from 4:30 to 6:30 on Friday the 25th. And also the return of 7th Street Live, which I'm very excited about on the East Side, coming on August 9th from 12 to 4. It's a Saturday. I'll be there. Last year it was super hot and really nice outside. So looking for folks to come out. It's all of 7th, I think, from like the beginning of 7th as you cross over to the bridge all the way up to Hope. So very excited to see folks come out and come back out again, because we don't have very many festivals in our ward, and so it's really great to see the work that Georgia Fort and Indigenous Roots have been able to do to bring it back again a second year. And then for my constituents, we've launched the date of our Ward 7 budget event that our Right Track intern, Micaiah May, will be able to put together. It's August 7th from 5:30 to 7:30. And so for folks, we'll be doing some outreach and some additional things like we did last year to get folks there, but we had a pretty large turnout last year, and so I'm looking forward to seeing all your smiling faces again.
Thanks, Chair Johnson. Ms. Yang.
President, the first thing I wanted to share is that St. Paul Parks and Rec is hosting a family picnic and water games event at Hazel Park Rec Center next Tuesday, July 22nd from 6 to 7:30. There's a picnic dinner, water games, family-friendly events, and everyone's welcome. It's a free event. And then second, I told you I would show you baby over the camera here. She's been a really good sleeper this entire time. She just woke up too. So. Oh my God. So this is Go Blue. She's been a really great this entire meeting.
I don't think there's better good news than that, so I can't even follow that. Thanks so much, Ms. Yang. She's beautiful. But any other good news in case anyone did want to follow it? I'm not going to try.
I'm not going to.
Okay, yeah. Smart. All right. Thanks, everyone, for a great meeting. As always, we are adjourned.
What if she was holding